Well, hello everyone, welcome back to Chicago. Hopefully the third time will be a charm. This is the third time I attempted to start this live stream here on YouTube. We got horns. Yeah, welcome back to Chicago, the land of horns here. Yeah, I'm on early today. That's what I said before. I know I was on mute the first time. That's why I had to restart the first time. The second time I must have did something wrong, because when I started it cut me out. So this is the third time. We're gonna do a quick little lunch walk today. If you miss it, don't worry, I know I'm on early. You can, those that watch me on YouTube, you know you can always go to the live reruns there on the live tab. And that's the good thing about streaming on YouTube, is that you can always, if you miss a live, you can watch the whole thing there on YouTube in widescreen, and that's nice. And sorry we had this thing started. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you can hear me now. I know I was muted before. Thanks for letting me know I was muted. I restarted it the second time and then it cut out, so this is the third time. Hopefully third time's a charm. But we'll do a quick lunch walk. And what I was saying before was the reason I'm so early today, I had a bunch of morning meetings and they lit out early because we got ahead of schedule. We're waiting for lunch to get delivered. Of course, the lunch is probably not going to get here until 12 or 12:30. So I'm going to use this as an opportunity. Yeah, technology is great until it isn't. I know. Technology fails us once again. But thanks for coming back. Thanks everybody for tuning in before. I didn't realize I was mute. I did that myself when I was trying to get the camera straight. There's a button, I've done it before, where I'm streaming here on Streamlabs on top of YouTube, where I try to zoom in and I hit the mute. It happens a lot. I hit the mute right when I started that first live and didn't realize it. And that's why I restarted the whole thing, because I want in the live recordings, I didn't want a bunch of dead air time at the beginning, so people would be all confused with the silent street walk here. But hey, thanks for tuning into YouTube. That's the great thing about YouTube, is if we miss a live, we can watch it on the reruns. And thanks everybody for tuning in for this morning. We're back on TikTok, so my week-long detention there seems to have come to an end, and we'll continue. All I'm going to do now, I'll start this again. The reason I'm on so early today, I had a bunch of meetings this morning at work. We're waiting for lunch, so I'm pushing everything forward. And if you miss it, you can watch it in the reruns. But it was good being back on TikTok, I guess. TikTok still, I always misinterpret comments, and thanks to my moderators for helping out this morning. It's always, you know, it's not my favorite application for creators. I know people as viewers love TikTok because, you know, but I was sad to hear May from across the pond there let me know that Deo Talk was put into tension again too. And so the fun times continue on TikTok. We'll see how long we can keep it going. But thanks for watching me on YouTube. As planned, we'll continue to do the lunchtime live streams on YouTube. And I'm even thinking about doing the evening live streams on YouTube for my own mental health. Hey, let's see. Yeah, the Tribune building. You know, we'll get another nice view of it here. I'm going a slightly different way. The reason I wanted to come this way is I want to look at the skyline from the north side of the river here, and there should be a really good view up here. Let me go up this way. Yeah, the Tribune. Look how the top of the John Hancock is obscured by clouds. This is the they call this the Glacier Center. It's all part of the University of Chicago. They have a see, even the University of Chicago has a presence downtown Chicago, and we'll get a better view of it on the other side here. But we got a nice view to the Lakeshore East skyline. And so thanks, Be Creative. Thanks, Tara, for tuning in. Thanks, Jonathan. Thanks, Sharon, for tuning in. Hey, that's good. Kenny's checking out YouTube so he can do landscape mode. See, even Kenny, that I'm in good company. I was talking to May. Deo Talk wants to use YouTube as well, but he, like me, was complaining about the resolution if you use the YouTube app. Look at this nice Linnea boat coming by down the Chicago River here. If you use the YouTube mobile app, the resolution is not great for live streaming. But if you use Streamlabs, that's what I'm using, and maybe that's what Kenny's doing too. You can get this nice 720p. You can watch it on your flat screen, and record your whole live. It's actually a good option. And so look at what TikTok's doing. TikTok's driving. Kenny's one of their stars. What if Dan decides to go to YouTube and they drive Dan away from, I'm talking about all day New York City, like the one of the most well-known live streamers on TikTok. TikTok's just driving their creators away, and it's we'll see if they actually care, but thanks for the good feedback here. Yeah, the Tribune. Yeah, the Tribune. That's why we all... There, look. See how the clouds just moved away? Looking between us, we can see up to the John Hancock. And this is what I wanted to see. You see here how we can see the whole skyline here. And if I get back, right here. So this is the NBC Tower. I was looking at this on Google Earth. Sometimes I plan out my walks on Google Earth so I can see. We can see the top of the Tribune. That's what we were talking about, Tara. And there's the Intercontinental Hotel. See, here's the University of Chicago. We can see the whole thing. They call this the Glacier Center. And let's get it in here. The University of Chicago has some of their classroom campus down here. But look at this view. We'll get it really good here. Let me Oh, Deron was in New York City. That's great. So he was with Dan. That's great. See, look at that, and those two guys right there are probably TikTok's most well-known live streamers, at least, in the format we're used to here. Look at this view. See, I wanted to get this view from the St. Regis. You can see the Aqua. Over to the Aeon. My hand just got in the way there. And here we are at the southern end of Streeterville. There's the Sheridan. Isn't that nice? Yeah. So I missed it. That's good. So Deron's in New York City. That's good. But yeah, Kenny's checking out YouTube as well. YouTube's rolling out a lot of tools, and they're going to make a serious run at competing with TikTok. So hopefully it'll become a viable option if they can get a few of their bugs worked out, And so look at this great view we got over to Streeterville. Here we're at the southern end, and I just want to show these skyline views here. This car's turning here. We'll get across here. Sirens, always sirens in the background. Thanks for tuning in so early. We'll cross the street here. So you see how wide Columbus is here. And Columbus turns into Fairbanks as it goes north. Here, I better get across the street. It sounds like this siren might be coming this way. I don't know. See how you can look straight down into Streeterville. That's looking north. Columbus becomes Fairbanks. This is called the Ogden Plaza. And here's the Sheridan Hotel. We're on the back side of it. Yeah, here comes the fire truck. But it was good to be back on TikTok this morning. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We had 400 people watching at the end. When I was near Clark and Division, we were up to 500 people. It's just, I'm just amazed. I'm just amazed that that is a positive of TikTok, is that they really do give, when they're not banning the streetwalkers, they give you can get really good exposure because people are scrolling through the lives. And if you're in New York City, Chicago, LA, a scenic spot like Savannah, a lot of people will tune in and watch your live stream, and it's good. It's a good way for people to gain exposure, and that's why I'm still going to keep a presence there on TikTok. I'd rather stream on YouTube, but you see, we can't convince people to make the migration from TikTok to YouTube. And I know people are loyal to the apps, their favorite apps. It's the nature of it, you know. And thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm here early doing a quick live stream over lunch so we can save some more content in the YouTube live archives there. There's some stairs here at the end of this. This is not the ground. We're behind the Sheridan here in Streeterville. There's the top of the Trump building. And this is another way to get to Navy Pier if you want to go. Is that the sun coming out? If the sun comes out, we'll get really lucky here. Look at the sun's trying to come out behind the St. Regis there. We'll head down the stairs here. There you see the Chicago River. And you see how there's the Ferris wheel for Navy Pier. At the end of the Ogden Slip there, we'll head down these steps, see what we can see. But so what was Duran doing in New York, or was Duran still in LA, or is Duran in New York with Dan right now? I missed that yesterday. You know, I didn't watch that much stuff last night. Yeah. Oh, much calmer than my rant yesterday. I don't know if anybody was on to hear my obscenity-laden rant. And you notice how, isn't it amazing? You know, TikTok amazes me. You know, this morning, and you know, I apologize to Zoe. I don't know if you're watching or not. I don't expect you to be, because it's sleeping time in Australia. But I think she or somebody else asked about homelessness, and I get that question all the time on TikTok because people have a valid question. You know, where are the homeless? Because it's a big city. I didn't think I was responding angrily, but you know, I see my voice carries. That woman heard me talking way up there. But I know from the viewers, it may came across that I was responding angrily to, because I get that all the time, because I'm not going to go out of my way to film homelessness if I encounter it, but I try to respect the vulnerable people in vulnerable situations. I don't want, without their consent, film them, and so it brings a lot of ethical dilemmas for me. And when people ask that, and it's funny, again, TikTok, it only took us, I was only, it's amazing. I should like mark this down. I wish I had $1 for every time that I come on, even in the morning, and immediately we get a question about O Block. What's the fascination with O Block? I know it's big in hip hop culture. People are honestly curious. People want, you know, and it's almost like a test of, like, you know, you have to prove, you know, like a test of like bravery to go down to O Block. And, you know, I just let it roll off. I'm like, yeah, watch me on YouTube. I'll go. They're not going to watch me on YouTube. Even if I go to O Block, which I might do, and film it on YouTube, whoever that person is, I bet you the slim chance they're not going to even watch it. And it just, you know, of course, you know, TikTok is TikTok. It dumbs everything down. I feel stupider every time I use TikTok. I'm just trying to cross the street here. I'm not looking for a taxi. I just want to cross the street, and he blocked my path. You know, I look like a tourist here. But here, we can head right along the Ogden Slip here. And we've done this many times before. Oh, yeah. And see, that's a good question, Michael, about the subscription-only chat on TikTok. I really honestly do not trust TikTok with your money or my money. I don't want to. I felt so bad with my original account where I did have a good group of subscribers, loyal subscribers, including my moderators that would subscribe, pay whatever, $5, $6 a month to subscribe to my channel. When they deleted my original account without warning, when I was live streaming, it was a major hassle for people to end their subscriptions on TikTok because they were still going to charge them even though my channel wasn't available. And why were they going to charge them to be subscribed to a channel that was permanently suspended? One side of TikTok doesn't know what the other side's doing, or maybe they're just that unethical that they were just going to keep charging people for subscriptions, you know. And if I do subscriptions, it'll be through YouTube. Once I get to 500 subscribers on YouTube, I'll be able to do subscriptions on YouTube. We'll give YouTube a try with subscriptions. It seems like you are the good people that are willing to follow me on YouTube. You should be rewarded with subscriber-only content that I could provide on YouTube. I really have lost all faith in TikTok to be a good business partner with my money, your money, subscription money. I would not start a business account with TikTok because I know people that had business accounts with TikTok that have lost their accounts and then they got major problems. And I wish I had a better experience with TikTok. TikTok is driving me away from their platform. And it's amazing that it's such an easy way to gain exposure. But what's the trade-off? You know, look at the people sitting out here. We're on by the Ogden Slip. Yeah. But, hey, Joe Seppi. Joe Seppi's using, see, look at this. Look at all these great people. Kenny, Joe Seppi, switching to YouTube. And it shows you, I was greatly encouraged by, they say Gen Z's use of TikTok is in a precipitous decline. You know, sorry, I'm talking too loud. Here's Innisfree, like they're getting ready for a lunchtime cruise there. It's nice. But yeah, they said, the news article said that the use of TikTok amongst Gen Z is in a precipitous decline. I was like, good. They'll switch to something else, you know. And 99 cents a month. Yeah, see, you could set your price point. I like that. And I want to make it cheap and easily available. And we'll give it a try here, you know. But I got to get to 500 subscribers, which it's much harder to get subscribers on YouTube. You know, even though I was able to get almost 40,000 quote-unquote followers on TikTok, it's very hard for me to get subscribers on YouTube. People will not switch from TikTok to YouTube, and I guess they got their reasons. But I'm glad you guys did. And you can still keep your TikTok. I'm still going to have a presence on TikTok. You know, we'll see how it goes. See how you can go here. I would like to go on this side because I filmed the giant hole where Calatrava was supposed to build the Chicago Spire, a tall skyscraper that never came to fruition. We filmed it before. We lost the footage. But here's some views of the Ogden Slip here looking back towards Streeterville. Yeah, Facebook. Yeah, Facebook, Meta. I don't trust Zuckerberg. I don't trust Elon Musk. I have reservations about, you know, I do have a Instagram as a backup. We did use Instagram to live stream before we were on YouTube. But for now, YouTube's going to be my main place, my main home. TikTok will be the backup. We'll still use TikTok in the morning because it's an easy way to gain exposure and people can tune in and follow and then discover that we got a YouTube. Hopefully they'll discover that you can watch it in widescreen and that the resolution on YouTube's much better. And yeah, TikTok doesn't have a monopoly over social media. Come on. You know, they compete with everybody else, and if they, you know, if their stupid draconian algorithm so stupid that it just bans people left and right, you know, so they're so paranoid about whatever they're paranoid about. They're lawyers. Good, Grace. I'm glad to hear that. Thanks for the good feedback. And see, you know, yeah, here's a Gen Xer. I'm glad to reach out to multiple generations. We got the whole age range. I'm so happy that we got people from all generations watching this great city content, and we can all learn from each other. I can learn stuff from the younger generation. You can learn stuff from the older generation. People older than me that know the history of Chicago better than me, they can tell us how neighborhoods changed over time. I can stay up to date with new trends in technology, learn from Gen Z and the millennials. No cohort, we're all diverse. It's even stupid that we group 18-year-old cohorts into one big group. We're all so different anyway. And you can't stereotype. I don't like being stereotyped as Gen X. I don't want to stereotype Gen Z, but it's good that, you know, look at who gets banned the most on TikTok anyway. It's Gen Z. They get banned all the time. And I was like, why do we all put up with this app where everybody's banned all the time and everybody's confused about why they're getting banned? There's no consistency. They won't even give you a reason. They'll give you a broad, like, misinformation, or you violated the community standards, which could be anything. And their community standards are so archaic anyway. They allow horrible, violent sexual content to remain, and then they ban people for stupid technicalities. It's just stupid. Yeah. Yeah, we'll get there. Yeah, Kramer getting banned from the produce store. I saw that, Chris. That's great. That's great. Grace, thanks for tuning in. Chris, Tara. So look, you see where we're at. We see how I can use this as a way to get to Navy Pier. And what time we got? 11:49. You know, I'm debating, should I go to Navy Pier or not? Now it's like decision time, because yeah, let's head to Navy Pier, because it's because the sun came out. The sun came out. We're early. You know, I really don't have to be back to the office until 1. I know they're going to serve lunch. They're probably already serving the lunch right now, but I wanted to get a lunchtime live in. And I know we went to Navy Pier like 2 weeks ago, but since it's still summertime, it's much better going to Navy Pier on a warm day like this, where I'm in short sleeves and we got the sun peeping out, than middle of winter when it's all gloomy and nasty and no one's at Navy Pier. And there'll probably be hardly anybody at Navy Pier today because it's the middle of the day and it's not peak tourist season. But hey, we'll get nice views of the mouth of the Chicago River, the mouth of the Ogden Slip here. And yeah, Lake Point Tower, North Point Tower, whatever you want to call this. Yeah, look at that. This is the only building, the only residential building that I know of that's east of DuSable Lakeshore Drive. And somebody sent me a picture. This was built in the late 60s. This was built, and it was the only thing over here. There was none of this residential was here when that was built. You could see all the way to the Tribune Tower, and the area along the Ogden Slip was all industrial. And there were even like giant like flammable gas tanks and stuff. No soup for you. No soup for you. Yeah. And that's why that, you know, if we're talking about a Seinfeld episode, if I say the soup Nazi, does that trigger the algorithm because I said the Nazi word? But we're talking about a Seinfeld sitcom episode that was funny. And, you know, wait till AI takes over everything. It'll send you a speeding ticket in the mail and you weren't even driving, you know, and it'll, you know, and Elon Musk will all be invested in the implant and AI, and it'll start messing people's minds. What's the liability if it goes haywire and the person wrecks the car because of the implant, gave them the wrong directions, you know? Yeah. Yeah, they call this Lake Point Tower, I think. But maybe it was called North Point Tower at one time. I don't know. They call it Lake Point Tower, but here's Navy Pier. Yeah, see, look at there's a barge pulling out. I guess they're going to do a architectural cruise. There's not many people on it. Look at these nice views we got back to the Skyline here. Here, we'll get out here. Look at that. And like I said, we were just over here a week ago, but it's still good. I want to take advantage of this nice weather. And since we got the time today, why not? Thanks everybody for being watching on YouTube. Chris, thanks for moderating this morning. I really appreciate it. And I know that's another advantage. We'll see if it changes, if our audience gets larger on YouTube. But I think just the fact that the comments are recorded, and like, you know, when you watch the reruns, you can actually see the comments. So if someone's consistently trolling us on YouTube, we can see who they are because the comments are recorded. And TikTok has such a problem with trolls. I think it's just the nature, the mentality of people that are attracted to that app. It's just like, that's the reason they're on it. They're on it to troll anything. They troll everything, not just, I shouldn't take it personally, because if they're trolling us, they're trolling everybody, you know. Or maybe they just don't like Chicago. Here, look at the fountain. Look at the fountain in front of Navy Pier. It's nice. See, they got the People's Energy Welcome Pavilion. You can buy tickets for everything at Navy Pier right there. This is where they had the Transformers statues set up. Look, they got some little benches over there with mosaics. Look at the nice plantings here. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Navy Pier. Thanks for tuning into YouTube. And but we're in good company. I saw Marty was on this morning, you know. I saw Anna Robb was walking around Detroit. They're still on TikTok, you know, and I'm glad to hear that Kenny's exploring YouTube. Like I said, Deo Talk, we're trying to reach out to him, that he was complaining about the resolution with the YouTube app. We say use Streamlabs on top of YouTube. That's what we accidentally discovered. Here's Navy Pier, and that's why we can stream in 720p. Come here right to the main entrance at Navy Pier. We'll get a good view of it here. Chicago Children's Museum. And again, this used to be Municipal Pier. It was intended to be a commercial pier for ocean-going Great Laker ships that would come up through the St. Lawrence Seaway. And those long, thin, narrow Laker ships, what the LA Lakers are named after. You know, the LA Lakers basketball team's named the LA Lakers because they used to be the Minneapolis Lakers, because of Duluth, and the Lakers would go through Superior, and Minnesota borders the Great Lakes as well. And then they went out to California and became the LA Lakers, but it was because they originally started in the Midwest. Isn't that amazing? And I think the Sacramento Kings used to be the Cincinnati Royals. Oscar Robertson used to play on that team. But that's the nature of sports franchises. They move around. Good. Thanks for banning that spammer, Chris. I appreciate that. Thanks for being on. I really appreciate it. It really helps. And I hope Sarah's doing okay. I let her know I was going on, but I know she moderates for so many people, and she might be mad at me for getting stupidly banned from TikTok for a technicality. And she'll be back. She has been checking in on us every once in a while, and Sarah's such a great friend and moderator, and I hope she's doing well and feeling well, because I know she's been going through a lot with what she deals with. And Diana, was on. Thanks for being on, Diana. You're such a great friend and moderator and help everybody out. And put your nice inspirational mantras on that you share with us on TikTok. It's great. Yeah, here's Harry Carey's Tavern. So if you just joined, we are on Navy Pier here. We walked over towards the where you can catch the water taxis that head the land of 10,000 lakes. You got it. Yeah. Yeah, Utah Jazz used to be in New Orleans. Yeah. Why would a team from Utah be called the Jazz? Is there a lot of jazz coming out of Utah? No, it came from New Orleans. That's great. Yeah, that's a good information here. My nice smart audience here. Thanks for helping us out with the comments here. Who was watching the opera? No, I guess I missed that. That's good. Oh, Marty was watching the opera. Oh, I bet that was nice. Yeah, he does. I know he was trying to watch like movies in the park one night, and unfortunately I'm not able to watch everything Marty films there. But Marty does such a great job. Yeah, the reason I remember Oscar Robertson, I went to college at University of Cincinnati, and of course, Oscar Robertson was on the University of Cincinnati teams that they lost. They did not win the NCAA, and then the teams after him beat Ohio State. It was like in the 50s or early 60s when Ohio State and Cincinnati traded NCAA championships. That was before my time, before I was born, of course. But since I went to the University of Cincinnati, I know about Oscar Robertson in Cincinnati and how much he meant to Cincinnati. The great Oscar Robertson. The only NBA player that I know of that averaged a triple-double over his career. That was his average. He averaged a triple-double with assists and points his entire NBA career. I mean, talk about a great basketball player. There, they're starting up the carousel just for us. Look at this. Yeah. The traffic warden, what happened with that? See, there's all this good stuff. There's just so much content to watch. But here we are at Navy Pier. Look how the Ferris wheel's right on top of the carousel here. And then they got the swings going. See, all this is still in operation, and that's why they're going to shut this down eventually. And look at the great view to the skyline we got here. Yeah, welcome to Navy Pier. We made it. But we're back to TikTok. Be careful what I wish for, you know. I now I'll be complaining about TikTok again and the mentality, but we got backups. If we have to, we'll migrate to YouTube. We're all set up for it. I'm interested in exploring their tools. And yeah, look at the nice steps here. See, they redid these steps a few years ago, and they got this stage here. You can see how they got the Shakespeare Theater. And yeah, eventually I hope they open up that winter garden. There's a winter garden there with palm trees on the inside, but they've had it under construction for over a year now, and I don't know what we looked in the window there, and they didn't even look like they were working on anything. They just got it closed. Maybe they don't want to maintain it. I don't know. But the palm trees were still in there. There was a bunch of fronds laying on the floor. It looked all abandoned. Yeah, the carousel's nice. Look at that. Yeah. And there you see how you got clouds kind of obscuring the skyline. But yeah, since the sun came out, I figured we'd head over here. And so now we'll reverse the process. We'll head down and check out the Sea Dog. We'll go down to this stage. Welcome to Lake Michigan. This is Chicago, Navy Pier. And I think the way I went, it's a faster way to get over here. See, we're right at noon. So let's see if I can make it back to the office by 12:30. We'll skip Ohio Street Beach. I learned if I go to Ohio Street Beach, it takes too long and I don't get back in time. Here, we'll just head over here so we can see. Looking, and if I go much further, our connection will drop off. I'm still streaming at 38 kilobits per second. There's the Sea Dog. How's it going? There's the Sea Dog and the Odyssey. You can here. Hold on a second here. Let me zoom in here. The Odyssey, you can take dinner cruises, and sometimes they have dancing out there. And then there's the Sea Dog. And then if I go, the lighthouse is behind the Sea Dog. There's the locks. That's the locks that let you into the Chicago River. You have to go down. The Chicago River is like 6 inches lower than the lake. Isn't that amazing that the river flows in reverse? It actually sucks a little bit of water out of Lake Michigan into the Mississippi watershed, and they reverse the whole river. But here's the carousel, or the Ferris wheel, and the carousel. The nice steps here at Navy Pier, and of course that big tent there, that's a band shell. And here's kind of like the southern esplanade here. So we'll just saunter back to the Ogden Slip. We'll get nice skyline views as we're heading towards the skyline this time. And yeah, let's check out this shoreline sightseeing boat, Captain Streeter boat. Captain Streeter. Yeah.
I promise. I take thousands of pictures.
Knowing is half the battle, G.I. Joe. There's Margaritaville, old Jimmy Buffett. Nothing lasts. The Fifth Third Bank Family Pavilion, isn't it? And see how they added all these trees. These trees did not used to be here. They redid this lakeside esplanade on the southern point. And there's talks of making a marina on the north side, but it still hasn't gone forward. We went inside there. There's like a mall inside there with a lot of tourist stuff. But my connection goes out when I go in there because I saw Nate had the same problem. Once you get in these walls. And this is the famous muralist. This is a 3D. Hebrew Brantley, his famous style. They turned it into 3D form. See, kids are going to check it out. And there's where you buy your tickets for the shoreline cruises. Yeah, take a nice picture right there with the Ferris wheel in the background. Hebrew Brantley's 3D sculpture. Got Harry Carey's ball glove right here. You can take it in all these great places for photo ops. The bar is not open. There's the shoreline water taxi right there. You can probably take that down to the museum campus. People are sitting out here with the dogs, and yeah, Captain George Streeter. So I know you probably heard the story of Streeter. I'll tell it again for the embellishment of our fellow viewers that may not have heard me tell it before. In the late 1800s, like the 1880s, Captain Streeter used to run a Laker steamship that traversed, the Great Lakes, hauling stuff around. He was like a freighter. No one knows the reason, if he did it on purpose or it was an accident. He said it was an accident. He said there was a storm and his ship ran aground. There was a beach, just like North Avenue Beach where the boathouse is. There was a beach embankment. After the Great Chicago Fire, they pushed a lot of rubble that became Streeterville. They made a lot of what used to be the lake got filled in with rubble from the Great Chicago Fire. And the same with Grant Park. A lot of Grant Park is rubble. They got pushed out from the city and they made land into the lake because the lake was so shallow there on either side of the Chicago River that they could make new land, which was very valuable. Well, all the railroads came down here, so Streeterville ran his George Streeter ran his ship aground over. They said it was at the end of Superior Street or Huron over there, where Fairbanks, because the Lakeshore Drive wasn't there at that time. It was like this low, shallow shoal. And his boat was stuck and he couldn't get it out. So he had several wives. I think his first wife, they lived on that boat for like a year or two through the winter, and he said he couldn't get it out. And then sand filled all around it, and there was his boat landlocked on this beach. So he claimed the land for himself. He said it was new land, he owned it, he claimed it. They didn't get it through the court records, and other people, wealthy Chicago barons that owned the land that wanted to sell the real estate, filed lawsuits claiming that he didn't own the land. And so a shantytown grew up around his boat. It was a vice district. There was a lot of brothels and bars and gambling. It was a wide open, because he claimed the laws of Chicago didn't apply because it was new land that wasn't annexed by the city. And so he was the unofficial mayor of Streeterville, and that's how Streeterville gets its name, Captain George Streeter. Ironically, or not ironically, interestingly, he did get his boat ungrounded, and during the World's Columbian Exposition, he ferried passengers from Streeterville to Hyde Park, to Jackson Park, where the World's Columbian Exposition. And then mysteriously, after the World's Fair was over, the 1893 World's Columbian Exposition, then his boat became stuck again. So I think he did it on purpose. And then by the 1900s, like by 1900, 1910, he lost all the court cases. He didn't, and then his boat was pretty bad shape by then, and they cleaned out the Vice District, and then it became the expensive real estate of Streeterville. But the name stuck for Streeterville. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. Good afternoon, Denise. Thanks for tuning in. Dolores, thanks for tuning in. Michael, yeah. Yeah, thanks for listening to a little history story there about Streeter. Chicago's just full of that stuff, and all cities have interesting characters. There's a statue to him. There's a statue to George Streeter in Streeterville. We've shown it before. It's in front of the Yoke restaurant there on Fairbanks. And Fairbanks was one of the developers that battled him, that owned the land at Superior and Fairbanks. You know, how the street names of the developers remain, you know. And, but hey, we got to Navy Pier. We talked about George Streeter. Fun times in the city. Yeah, YouTube is better. Thanks for checking us out on YouTube. Isn't this nice? And you see, there's multiple reasons I want to get away from TikTok, but my core audience that we build over this whole year, they're still on TikTok. And I don't know how to get them to YouTube. Deo Talk had this exact same problem. I remember when Deo Talk was first banned back this winter from TikTok, and Deo Talk was really down on TikTok, and I understand why now, because he felt constrained, and he was trying to convince people to come over to YouTube. Well, you saw this summer, he was all over Europe. He was on YouTube, or he was on TikTok, because he can't get his audience to switch to a different platform. And now he's back in the same boat as us. But it's encouraging that Kenny's exploring YouTube, and the other people that you mentioned. Yeah, this is all a nice area. There's Lakeshore East. This is Streeterville. There's the bike. This is the bike flyover. If somebody's using it, you can go right down. We'll cross the river. We'll go this way. We'll go back a different way. And yeah, Lake Point Tower. It's called Lake Point Tower. This is, see how they have a private amenity garden on top of their parking. Yeah, see, well, that's what happens. You know, I've been here for 25 years. I've learned from other great native Chicagoans that have lived here. I like history. I'm a history nerd. I read Wikipedia, and when I was in high school, they used to make fun of me because I read encyclopedias, and you know, and some of it stuck. My brain leaks, so some of it I get wrong. You know, there's only like. I joke, the more I cram in, it forces other stuff out, and I forget the original stuff I remembered. You know, my brain can only hold so much. But you see how you can connect up here? See, there's look at that. This was all like unto itself, you know, when it was built. That goes back to the late 60s, can you believe it? Welcome to the Lakefront Trail. But here, so here's where we're at. We're right here. And that's where Streeter ran his boat aground. And see, this is Lake Michigan. This is Michigan Avenue. It's a river. Streeter ran his boat aground around here. And that's why Streeterville got its name. Isn't that amazing? But weren't we just here? I felt like I was just here. We were over there. Yeah. Your hometown, Chicago. Sweet home, Chicago. Isn't it nice? We see how nice this... It gets better all the time. We got this... They improved the Lakefront Trail. You used to have to ride... I remember you used to have to ride down in there. And it was dangerous crossing the at-grade crossings with all the people trying to get to Navy Pier. and it got really crowded on that sidewalk. There'd be pedestrians. This makes it much better for both pedestrians and bike riders to cross the river. And you can connect with Navy Pier, you can connect with the bike path north and south, and get you away from the traffic. It's much safer. And they light this up at night. There you see the Coast Guard station over there. Yeah, I can't wait to film the neighborhoods. We'll start going to all the neighborhoods, filming it on YouTube and widescreen. We can archive the footage. It has historical value. Show all the murals in widescreen. I can post the reruns on TikTok. We'll just do our morning walks in the morning and try to coerce people to watch it on YouTube. And then, you know, if we do subscriptions, we'll do it through YouTube. I can set a low price point. We can do subscription only membership benefits through YouTube. I don't trust TikTok with my money. I hate to say that. You know, they rub me the wrong way, and that's what businesses can drive away customers, you know, even if their service is supposedly free. Yeah, Denise, you were born and raised in Chicago. That's great. A native Chicagoan. Thanks for, I love when my friends and people that watch are native Chicagoans, because you know the history of this city better than I do, and you can help me out. And sometimes I have questions. I don't know everything. Actually, there's a lot of stuff I don't know. I'm still learning. But yeah, I've lived here for 25 years. I grew up in the country, as we all know, and moved here in the late 90s. But we're all free to move about. Even Kenny in New York with the Reds, he didn't always live in New York. Dan's a native New Yorker, never left. That's what he says in his bio. Born and raised. And that's why he does such a great job showcasing his hometown. Yeah, see, you moved away in the 90s. Yeah, so you moved away and I came in. See, that's the nature of the ebb and flow. We're all free to move around the country, and a lot of people like you, we tune in to see what's changed, stayed the same, and here's another great view to Navy Pier. Look at that. So let's zoom in here. There you see the hotel. They added that hotel that out here. That's all new. That's the Sable Hotel that they added at Navy Pier. And when here's the mouth of the Chicago River. There you can see there's the locks. There's the locks right there that let you in. And so even kayakers have to go through those locks. If you're out in the lake and you want to get into, boats have to go through that to get into the Chicago River. There's the Coast Guard station right there. Look at that nice Coast Guard station we got right there. And then if you look straight out, there's the lighthouse. See the lighthouse out there? I've kayaked out to that lighthouse. And you can imagine the skyline views you get from that lighthouse, that break wall out there that protects Monroe Harbor. Yeah, good. You watched it the last week? That's good. Yeah, Brooklyn. Yeah, good. Nice. Thanks for your perspective. And St. Paul. Yeah, Brooklyn to St. Paul. That's interesting. Good. Glad it was good for you. Yeah, Chicago's been good to me. I haven't made a fortune here. I've lost so much money on housing. The cost of housing is so expensive, especially in the area where I live. And the only way I can afford it is by not having a car. And cities aren't cheap. New York's even more expensive. LA's expensive too, as are all the California cities. Except for maybe Bakersfield, I don't know. But here, we'll head, we got 1216. We'll head through Lakeshore East. So, that bridge we just went, not this bridge, not the bike bridge, the car bridge that was built in the late 1930s. It was part of a public works project during the Roosevelt administration, where they built this causeway for what's now known as DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Then it was just Lakeshore Drive, and it's a double decked bascule drawbridge. We've seen it open, and we'll see it open when a lot of these sailboats will have to come back into the river this fall to go to their dry winter storage. Yeah, it's expensive. That movie. Yeah, there's some nice views out there to the Coast Guard station. There, look at that giant. There's the scuba team. There's the scuba team for the Chicago Fire Department. One of the trucks, their equipment trucks. We got, of course, a great scuba team. Remember when I filmed the rescue training when the helicopter landed and they had that hostage situation on the yellow water taxi there, the demonstration, the Homeland Security Convention was in town. That was interesting. But you see how it's hard to tell. That's a roof deck. That's a roof deck. There's a building with restrooms underneath it. There's a restaurant on the other side of it. We'll follow that where that jogger went, and we'll go right down. There's some steps, and we can connect to Lakeshore East. But if I go up on this is a green roof for a building underneath us. And I'll show you the nice views of the harbor we got. This is all like the, they look like jacks. It's the, you know, for shoreline protection, they could put those along the shore to protect erosion. Those concrete bollards, whatever they are. Yeah, lower whacker. Yeah, nothing lasts. Oh, the chase scene in Blues Brothers is great. You know, it's kind of lost. Some of the younger generation hasn't seen the Blues Brothers, and they're like, "What's this movie you're talking about, the Blues Brothers?" I'm like, just watch the car chase scene. You know. Yeah, Richard M. Daley was all about green roofs, planning, beautifying the city, trying to make it live up to its Latin motto, "City in a Garden," Urbs and Hortio, or whatever they call that. Look, she's taking a picture too. See, there's the Columbia Yacht Club. You can join that. They call this DuSable Harbor. There you see Navy Pier across the way, and there's Lake Point Tower where we were just at. There you see Streeterville. Nice skyline views. We'll head under this bridge. Yeah, Richard M. Daley. Anybody hear how he's doing? I heard he had some health problems. I guess he's still around. I don't know where he's living at even right now. He used to live in the Heritage. And of course, Maggie Daley passed years ago due to cancer, his wife. That's why. Can you believe I was walking through Maggie Daley Park, and of course this is TikTok. Chalk this up to TikTok. You know, we always go through Maggie Daley Park. They got the beautiful ice skating rink and the climbing walls and the nice playground for the kids and stuff right next to Millennium Park. And someone was sarcastically said, maybe they were joking, they were like, "What did Maggie Daley ever do to deserve to have a park named after her?" She was the wife of Richard M. Daley, and of course, you know, they did it because they knew it was she died of cancer. There's the Cancer Survivors Park right there, you know, and so I brought that up, and then that kind of put a stop to that, you know. And maybe they honestly didn't know. They honestly, I gotta not read bad intent on when someone might have been just asking an honest question, you know. And that's what I did to poor Zoe. She asked about the homeless, and I didn't realize it was her. Sometimes the comments on TikTok, they fly across the street that I'll pick up a comment, but I won't see who wrote it. And I was like, who's asking about, but it's our friend Zoe, and she was honestly asking about the homeless. So I feel bad. I didn't mean to react angrily, but I don't know how to deal with that question. You know, like, why don't you film the homeless? I'm like, I don't go out of my way, but you know, if there's somebody right here, you know, so I try not to censor the city, except TikTok forces me to censor the city. Here's the Cascade Park. I can't show the real city because I'll get banned from TikTok for just showing what exists in the city. Here's the Cascade Park. We show this. This concrete. Chris, look at this. It's so concrete. It's just like, you know, we got this nice park over here. You know, you could terrace up. You see how there's a parking garage underneath here, and the bike path. This is Lakeshore East. You see there's the Aeon. We're east of the Aeon. You can go and connect with the park, and there's a parking garage. And then you go up to Cascade Park, and you terrace up, and you get to the top here. Yeah, so Richard J. Daley was the father, Richard M. Daley was the son, yeah. And there were several mayors in between them. You know, Richard J. Daley the first, the old machine boss, I guess he died in like 77, and then Blandick replaced him. He was still part of the old machine, and then he was replaced by Jane Byrne. It was the first female mayor of Chicago. And then she famously lost. No, she beat Blandick because of that snowstorm. There was a snowstorm. Blandick didn't clear the streets fast enough, and that's how she got elected. But you know, among other things. And then she lasted one term. I don't know if was there someone else between her and Harold Washington. See, I didn't live in Chicago at that time, so I might be missing somebody. And then Harold Washington was in the mid '80s when the Bears won the Super Bowl. Harold Washington was the mayor, and then he unfortunately died in office due to a heart attack. Look at that great dog. Wow. Yeah, Harold Washington, you got it, yeah. Let's see here, let's zoom into this. Look at this dog. Oops. Yeah. No, that's okay. No, that's fine. No, I appreciate it. Thank you. We're just heading the same way. That's great. Look at this nice. You can sit in these deck chairs, these lake chairs, and these little stumps. And then after Harold Washington, I don't know who temporarily replaced him. And then Richard M. Daley came after Harold Washington. And then I guess we got Rahm Emanuel. And then we got Lori Lightfoot. And now we have Brandon Johnson. But look at this nice park here. Yeah, you can just step up here. The grass is wet. I forgot how much it rained overnight. Some people were driving back downstate. They said there was crazy thunderstorms. Did anybody get any crazy thunderstorms last night? I might have missed it when I was sleeping. I know it rained overnight, at least in the city. Oh yeah, the winter storm in '78, that was a bad one. There was a lot of bad winter storms, and there was like the late '70s, there were like a lot of blizzards. I think there was a blizzard in '77, there was a blizzard in '78. And people at that time honestly thought we were heading into an ice age, and now we have the opposite effect where the earth is heating up, you know. That's why. But look at Lakeshore East. Look how nice it looks. We got this park here. We'll head down these steps. We'll go down past the nice fountains here. Sun's out. There's still rain in the forecast, so we must be in this. We must be in this brief period between the next rain batch. There's the pigeons. Hanging out with the pigeons. Eugene Sawyer. Thank you. Eugene Sawyer. I knew I was forgetting somebody. Thank you. Yeah, Eugene Sawyer. That's significant because Sawyer was mayor before Richard M. Daley, and that was in the late '80s. Yeah, until the early '90s, I think. Yeah, I think Richard M. Daley didn't start until like the beginning of the '90s, and he lasted all the way until what 2009, I think. I think when President Barack Obama was elected president, I think Richard M. Daley was still mayor. And it had to be because Rahm worked for the Obama administration. He was the, what was he, the chief of staff. The foul-mouthed, four-letter F-word, F-bomb speaking chief of staff. And then he became the foul-mouthed, F-bomb mayor of Chicago. Oh, Rahm, now he's the ambassador to Japan, right? Yeah, Rahm Emanuel. Yeah. Daily starting 89. Thanks for looking that up. Thanks for looking that. See, I can't remember everything off the top of my head. See how you guys are helping me out. Welcome to Lakeshore East. This is the park at Lakeshore East. We got these nice fountains. I wanted to film them while they're still on, and hopefully they'll be on through October. I don't know. And yeah, they're doing some boxing training, physical training. Yeah, nice fountains here, and they got a nice playground. They got the rubber surface, so if you fall down, you don't hurt your knees. It's a great place to walk the dog. There's a dog park over there. You can swing on the swings. Lakeshore East. Rom can't do TikTok. I know. Yeah, there's still a lot of beef between Japan and China. I know it goes back to World War II, and it was horrible, the atrocities that happened back then from Japan. But yeah, good old Rom. Look at St. Regis. Yeah, I hear the dogs barking over here. Let's go by this dog park. That's probably where they're going. Let's go. Here's the Aqua. Look at that. I'll get ahead of you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's a nice park. It's a nice park. They got divvy bikes you can check out there. They got more fountains over there. You can ramp up here. Of course, we're only a block away from Maggie Daly Park and Millennium Park. We walk out there sometimes. We'll do that again. We'll walk across the nice BP pedestrian bridge that gets us to Millennium Park. You got benches. You got this nice tree-lined path. Here's the dog park. Yeah, look at all these dogs out. And you see how this is set up. You enter this first gate, and you know, you don't have to let any other dog out to get in there. There's 2 gates to get in, and then you got the nice central part where you let the dogs off the leash. They can be social and run around. Jane Byrne started the Taste of Chicago. That's a good fact. Yeah, and we still had it today. We went to it. I got TikToks posted at the Taste of Chicago. We went over there. They had it. They pushed it back to September this year because of the NASCAR. How's it going? So I'm going to get trapped here if I go this way. So there's a fencing here. So the Mariano's is up there. They got the, what do we got here? Subway, Aveda, Nail Salon, Eggy's Diner, Mariana's Fresh Market. You go to Gordo's Taco Bar. We went to Gordo's Taco Bar when my cousin was in town. That was a nice place. I haven't tried Eggy's Diner. But yeah, here's Lakeshore East. Yeah, the Sears Tower. Yeah, we that was they call it the Willis Tower now. But I still call it the Sears Tower. Every time I go on TikTok, someone's like, it's the Willis Tower. I'm like, I know it's called the Willis Tower. I'm calling it the historic name, the Sears Tower, just like you. If you go to a taxi and say, take me to the Sears Tower, they'll still take you there. They won't say, get out, unless you call it the Willis. What are you talking about, Willis? Old Gary Coleman. And Danny pointed out, yeah, when I went to Union Station, that Gary Coleman was in that movie filmed at Union Station, you know, where he lived in the station there in the locker. I remember seeing that movie as a kid, and I thought it was Grand Central Terminal, but it was Union Terminal, you know. Yeah, the dog bark. Yeah, the dog bark is just like a concrete. They throw a bone in there, and you're just like in a little concrete alcove there. Look at that. Hey, thanks for being on. We made it to Navy Pier. Now we're back. Lakeshore East. We got to go up these stairs. We'll get a nice overview of the park as we head up here. What a beautiful day. Nice weather. The rain's holding off. And yeah, the dog bark is kind of sparse. That's why I crack up too. I'm like, you know, they got all this other green area. Why would you use? Then you see how no one hardly uses that dog bark, because why would you use it? It's just a big piece of concrete. But see how they got the seating down here with the Chicago flag. They started this during the pandemic. They thought people could eat down in there and spread out, but then no one really used it because no one comes downtown anymore. But thanks for giving me an audience here today on YouTube so we can try to build this up. We're almost to 400 subscribers on YouTube. You guys have helped make it possible. We'll continue to do TikTok in the mornings, and I'll keep advertising that we're on YouTube. We'll eventually do subscriptions here on YouTube. We'll do some subscriber only content, keep away the trolls. And you know, we might even have to do that because so far, that's why I told Sarah, I'm like, you could just watch YouTube, you don't have to moderate. Chris, you're able to watch and just passively watch. Isn't that nice? You know, Diana's tuned in. And here's the Aeon. We're by the, see the Radisson Blues there. Radisson Blues in the Aqua. And of course there's Residence. Residence is above there. Cars can drive around this. There's parking. And there you can see, maybe we can see the Sears Tower. Let's see. No, it's behind. It's behind. We can see the 311 South Wacker, but well, you just have to check out my TikTok page. We got the Sears Tower in all its glory on a TikTok. Yeah, we got capacity. We got. You're right. We got a capacity for our infrastructure. We have a capacity for 1 million more people. In the 1950s, 3.5 million people lived within the city limits. The city limits are the same now as they were in 1950. We didn't annex any new land except for maybe O'Hare. And now we're down to 2.6, 2.7. So look at that capacity, you know, and that's why I don't feel threatened by the immigration crisis because we got capacity. Chicago's always been a city of immigrants. Multiple ethnic groups and waves, both domestically, like people like me from Appalachia that immigrated to the city in the countryside. And look how that car was just itching to run me over. They did not want to stop. And there was somebody coming the other way, and I know it's hard when you drive. Passengers make me nervous. When I drive, I get nervous around bikes, and then I'm a bike rider, so I'm empathetic. I know it's hard driving around bikes and people crossing the street all the time. But you see, we got a fountain on this side, and we showed the fountain on the other side. Here's the tall Aeon building. Third tallest building in Chicago, straight up. And here's the Fairmont. Look at the Aqua behind it. St. Regis. Oh, you went from Naperville to Des Plaines to Rosemont, Evanston. Yeah, you get around, Chris. I know you get around. You cover some ground there. You know, you're driving. That's good. Thanks for doing that. It's like the Beach Boys song, I get around. But this is like, I think they just made this for like limos to pull up here. You know, it's like this little queuing area for the Aeon Center right here. But here, we'll, I gotta get on this side or I'll get trapped.
My dad loves these. Yeah.
We'll end it at the fountain here in the John Kearney statues. We did this before because I'll head back into the office there. But thanks for coming on a nice little jaunt to Navy Pier. You can watch in the reruns if you missed any of it, and spread the word there. And I don't know if I'll be on TikTok or YouTube tonight. I might just do TikTok just to gain more exposure, but eventually I want to do the evening walks in YouTube, especially when we go to the neighborhoods, because it looks so much better in landscape. And I want to do the primary, but just because I just made it back to TikTok, we might try TikTok tonight. Who knows? It depends on what my mood is getting out of work. But here's this fountain here we showed here, and look, lunchtime, no one's sitting by the fountain because no one comes over here. You can have this all to yourself. But yeah, Sarah was on Friday, I think. a little bit, and I think it might have been making her motion sick when I went by, you know, when I swing around like this. It kind of, you know, free. So, but hey, thanks you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Have a great Wednesday. We'll see you later tonight, probably on TikTok, and then we'll go back to doing YouTube later in the week. So have a great day, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and appreciate it. Thanks for the good comments, and we'll talk to you later from Chicago. Have a great day, everybody. Yeah, the TikTok finally let me out of jail. We were on this morning. Peace out.